Welcome to the Firearm Show. How you doing, Chad?
Doing well, Carrie, and yourself?
Pretty good. Hopefully the viewers will recognize this piece here.
They will.
If you're not familiar with firearms and you don't recognize this and you've never seen one before, and I don't know where you've been, because it's one of the most popular rifles in the world.
It really is.
This is the AK47. So we finally got a chance to shoot this and had some fun with it. But now I say AK47, but more specifically, what do we have here?
This is a GP WASR 10, GP standing for General Purpose. For all purposes, it's basically very similar to the AK that was produced by the Soviets, but it's just not quite the quality. But
it's not full auto.
That too.
So unfortunately, we don't have a full auto one to play with.
No.
And if we did, our range wouldn't let us fire.
There's that.
The guys at DCF, Douglas County Firearms, down in Castle Rock, they're really cool, but they don't like full autos down there. And I can understand why. If you've ever been to an indoor range that allows full autos, there's a lot of shots in the ceiling. So you got to be careful with that. But I did get a chance to go out and shoot this. Now, again, if you're not familiar with the AK platform, it's been around since World War I, actually the last year of World War I. Been in service since 1949 through current day. You cannot find a Middle Eastern country or foreign country that doesn't have these in their arsenal. Even our special ops have variants of the AK platform. Now, what's unique about I don't even know if I want to say unique, but what really makes the AK platform really stand out among all the guns that are out there in the world is its reliability.
Yes, it's very reliable. You can drag this through mud. It just takes a look and it keeps on taking. It's like a Timex.
There's a video that someone did, and you can actually take this cover off and see how the action works. People throwing ice cream and eggs and mud and all kinds of goop into the action, and you fire it and it still goes.
Exactly.
And that's what this was designed for.
It's just very simply built. That's the only way to put it. Very simple.
The downside is you're going to sacrifice some accuracy for that reliability.
You are. Especially if you're going to go with ones like this. There are some out there that they use higher quality components that are actually made completely here in the United States, and those things are just dead on.
But the philosophy behind it was to build a rifle that was accurate enough.
Correct.
And how much accuracy do you really need in a battlefield system when you can be shooting 4 to 5 inch groups at 100 yards?
You're still going to hit what you're shooting at.
If you point here and you hit here, you're still doing damage, right? That's what it boils down to. And that's why you will see these everywhere. Every major war, someone, and maybe even both sides, are shooting at each other with these things. Now, in terms of use cases, well, absolutely as a battlefield weapon.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, there's no question, because it's proven its point, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's been in every conflict since 1950, or 1949 to current day. They're still out there. You see any news footage in Iran, Iraq, anywhere, the bad guys have these because they're cheap to produce, they're easy to produce, and they're easy to work. So,
I think after today, there's probably 3,000 rounds in this. I still haven't cleaned it, which I never do, but but did you run into any hiccups?
There were no hiccups. We'll talk about some of the things that come up when firing as we move along. But since we're talking about use cases, what about some of the other use cases? Hunting, self-defense, all those general ones?
I've actually known a couple of people who actually bought 5-round mags for these and actually hunt deer with it. I'm not sure I would do it, but they actually...
again, 100 yards, if you're shooting 4, 5, 6 inch groups, you could, for sure.
If you put an optic on this, which, these actually have the optic rail on there, so you can actually put a scope, and that's exactly what they did. They brought home a deer every year, so...
I'm not sure it'd be my first choice.
No.
Same with home defense. Probably not my first choice.
No.
You know, the penetration factor of the round.
Over-penetration.
It's just...
way over-penetration.
Plinking gets to be a little costly as a plinker.
These days, yes.
What are we looking at in terms of what rounds does it use, and what are those going for?
The 7.62 by 39 is currently, I think I just recently saw a posting for about $350 for 1,000.
So 35 cents a piece-ish, somewhere in there. I mean, that's not bad.
No,
it's not bad. Generally, you're buying them in bulk. I haven't seen them at some of the local stores. The range doesn't carry it, but they're not hard to come by.
No. I mean, I've seen rounds for this at Walmart.
Yeah. It's just, you got to look around. So sometimes they're a little scarce. Well, let's talk about the operation of it. And, I mean, I had never shot one before today, and I knew how to load it. I knew how to arm it because I've just seen it so many times. There's a little trick to putting the mag in. You kind of pop it in and slide it back so it locks into place. Charge it.
Ready to roll.
She's ready to roll. Now, in terms of ergonomics, I think I kind of struggled a little bit early on because it's just not designed for an indoor range type of distance.
It really isn't.
Well, I really had to get my cheek up high on it so I could get the sights lined in. I mean, this is really a 100-yard gun.
It really is.
50 to 100. And we were at 10.
Yeah.
I think we were shooting 30
it was
feet.
ridiculously short.
So really had to get up on it so I could get the sights lined in. Once I kind of figured out where I needed to be on the sight picture, you know, we were starting to drill it pretty good.
Oh yeah, you were right on it.
And now the one thing I will say is, how many rounds did we run through it today?
100.
About 100. It started to get a little warm.
Very.
That last magazine, I was like, whew.
Yeah, it definitely was getting to be a scorcher there.
Yeah. I can't imagine what that would be like on full auto running through a handful of mags, though.
Yeah.
Got to get pretty toasty. But, I mean, I don't know if we could quite fry eggs on it at that point, but
oh yeah,
my hand was certainly starting to get a little toasty with just this wood grip on here.
Yeah, it was definitely getting warm. I mean, much like the ARs when we're running those as well.
Now, firepower. We talked about the round, and how heavy is that round compared to like an AR round?
The standard AR round, you know, you're looking at 55 grain, you know, or 65 grain. This is 147 grain, so it starts
get a little more heft to that round.
It does. I mean, ballistically, it actually compares quite close to the 30-30.
Okay. And magazines, what are these 30-round mags?
These are 30 rounds.
And you can drill through them pretty quick. I'll vouch for that.
Definitely. Well, it's a fun gun to shoot.
Yeah.
So.
It's designed to send a lot of lead downrange. And it does that very well.
It definitely does that well.
Grip-wise, very comfortable. Kind of a short length of pull for me. You know, you could always get a different stock for it.
Absolutely.
You can get a telescoping stock. You can get the folding ones. You can accessorize this thing quite nicely. But it just meant I just had to get on it a little bit more and get the feel for it. Nothing bad. Very comfortable. Didn't feel that heavy in your hand while you're shooting it. And in terms of cleaning and tear down, they tear down very, very easily.
Very easily.
Designed for the soldiers with basically zero training. Mm-hmm. If they needed to be able to show someone how to use it, operate it, and maintain it in about 15, 20 minutes, and you can really show someone how to do that.
Yeah, I mean, most of these will come with a kit that you can actually put in the back end of the stock. Excuse me, Terry. Mm-hmm. And your cleaning kit will actually go back here. We don't have it in this one, but it'll have all the tools necessary to actually clean it and break it down. And I mean, the cleaning rod's here, so all you need are some patches and
good to go.
Good to go.
Or just pour some water down. Dump it in the river a few times. It's good to go, right?
Oh, yeah.
And that's the thing. I mean, these things just go forever and ever and ever without really need to be cleaned. Of course, you know, you can clean them.
I would recommend it. I mean, I'm torture testing this one, but
and it's holding up like a champ. in terms of just general fun factor, I got to say, there's something to be said for firing an AK.
Yes.
It's an AK, right? I mean,
that's all that needs to be said.
Now, I told you this last week that we're always talking about what our next purchase is going to be and what's on our wish list and stuff. And the AK wasn't really even near the top of my list.
No, you weren't really interested.
No, I said it's on the list of things I want to have eventually because you just got to have one.
But that was the only reason,
Yeah, it's a historical piece. There's some history behind it. You might want to pull it out when you have some guests over once in a while. And so I took it out today, and okay, so it's moved up on my list, right? All right, to be fair, it's moved up on the list. The price is coming down on them very, very quickly. I mean, we were seeing these for $1,500, $1,600.
Yeah,
we're starting to see them in the $500, $600 range, sometimes even less.
Yes.
So price-wise, it certainly has bubbled up on the list just because of the price. But now after firing it,
it's just fun.
Yeah, that was fun. What can I say? It is a fun gun to fire because of its simplicity. It was real easy to put on target. It's just a blast.
It really is.
I don't know how else to put it. I'm sold.
I mean, you have to shoot it to actually understand that.
I did, and even though there was all the reasons why to have one, it's just
just didn't do anything.
Didn't do anything. Now I'm hosed. Accessories. Now you mentioned that this has a scope mount on it, and there's others that you can replace this rear sight with a Picatinny. There's polymer pieces for it. There's stuff. I mean, so you can really go crazy.
You can. I mean, there's even mounts where you can replace this cover, and actually it has a rail on it. I highly recommend against that because it's going to wobble. I would just stick to the built-in scope rail, and I mean, you can always put one on. Worst case.
Yeah. Now, the way that kind of works here is it takes a special mount and it clamps on here. Kind of reminds me of the Mosin Nagant sniper that kind of mounts from the side and then comes up and kind of free floats over the top.
It slides backwards, and then it'll have like a latch that you actually would lock under here. I actually have those. I just didn't bring it with me.
We'll see if we can put it there so we can keep it on the camera. In terms of value, I would say 9 months ago, there was no value. I mean, the price was so ludicrously high that it wasn't there.
I agree.
But now, if you can find one in that $500 to $600 range.
Yeah, when I got this, it was $300.
Oh, man. Now, how long ago was that?
That was quite a while ago.
We'll just call it a while back, right? But if you can get in that $400 to $500, $600 range, that's not that much for a good gun.
No, and you can find parts anywhere, so it's not like you have to worry about it, breaking and not being able to fix it.
Well, I guess that's another thing that speaks to the reliability of it is you can take 10 of these, rip them apart, put them in solvent, clean them, put them all back together, regardless of which piece went on which gun originally.
Yeah, the tolerances are pretty loose, so.
I think that's kind of an understatement.
Yeah.
But again, you're going to sacrifice that reliability for a little bit of accuracy. But really, I mean,
you were drilling it out.
Yeah, when you're having that much fun and you're on target, not just on target, but I mean, really, we were ripping holes. So
yeah, we're
certainly accurate enough, and I love that phrase, accurate enough that it really was a lot of fun. Any final thoughts on this bad boy here?
No, I mean, it's just a lot of fun. If you haven't shot one, at least see if a friend has one. Just give it a shot.
Check with your local range. Many ranges have one. Now, if you're in California, good luck trying to find one here in the next few months because they're going to be illegal. But, if Governor Brown passes or signs that law, but hopefully you guys can still, hopefully that won't go through and you guys can still get your hand on a piece like this because there's really no reason that a gun like this should be outlawed because it's just a semi-automatic. It's no different than an AR-15 or a 10-22 or any of those types of semis.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of ridiculous. It's the black. I hate the black rifle. It's scary looking. Let's ban it.
Yeah, and okay, yeah, it's a foreign gun. Blah. You go on and on. The pistol grip, whatever. All those politics aside, it's just silly that a gun like this should not be available to people because it's just neat to have that piece of history. Even if you're not getting an original full automatic, still being able to get something like this where it's essentially the same thing. Mm-hmm. It's so much fun.
Yeah, the basics are all there. So.
You're just a bad influence on me.
I know. I work hard on that.
My wife is just going to end up hating you. You know that, right?
Yeah, but I don't have to live with her.
Good point. All right. This is Kerry and Chad with the Firearm Show. We'll catch you next time.
Bye-bye.